Hey, this is Ryan and Taylor from Mating Ritual. We're hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
New album just dropped, not like 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and I'm really enjoying this record. Tell me about this record, and the second time around, how different was the creative process this time?
I mean, it really wasn't that different. We worked together on the last record too, and we kind of do them. We kind of approach music the same way every time, whether it's a song for us or a song for somebody, another artist or TV or whatever. And this one just kind of happened really fast, which was, I guess, the biggest difference. Is we wrote it at night, we would get really drunk, we'd come up with an idea, and the song was done by the morning. And so, I think we finished this in 2 months.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest difference is that this album was written more cohesively in like a 2-month span, and the previous one had like a little more pick and choose from songs that we had done over a longer period of time.
Right.
Yeah.
Did that seem like an easier process though, like actually sitting down for that month or two and just focusing on the record as opposed to, writing stuff throughout the year like the first record?
I think so. I thought, and I don't really know if it was because we chose, but having just moved in together and had just come out of long-term relationships, we were just kind of it happened to us more so that it just happened in that so quickly in a 2-month span.
It's a lot more satisfying for us and gratifying as artists because I'm not sick of these songs yet, which the last album I could never hear again and would be fine. My life.
But how long did it take before you got to that level with the first record?
Before it was out. That we were sitting on most of those songs for 2 to 3 years. Wow. And so it was just the business side of things. We were trying to figure out how to be an independent artist because we've always been on labels before. And we've made a very conscious choice to go DIY with this. I started my own label, and so that we were learning how to do things ourselves and be like professional musicians without the help of anyone else. And so that took a little while just to get our bearings and make sure we can make a living and put food on the table. And then now that we've got everything rolling and we kind of want to do a record a year. We hope to do. Okay. We'd like to do 5 in 5 years. So we're already 2 down, and we want to do 3 more, 1 every year. We've already started the next record.
Jeez, that's really quick. From the looking into you guys from the outside in, knowing that you guys are independent. I know you guys are independent, but anyone else that hears about you or sees things about you wouldn't think that way. I'm seeing billboards, and something that you don't see around when it's an independent artist. So, how are you making it seem like you do have this big, great label team behind you? Because just the promotion side alone looks massive.
Well, that was what the 3 years was for me. Is I was learning throughout all those times what I could do to market properly and not rely on a whole team, not just pay somebody $3-4 grand a month and have a campaign. Just really do it ourselves and make sure that everything we're doing we understand, because I think that's how you can run a really good company. And I know that's more on the business side, but if you know every facet of your company, you're probably going to hire the right people and do it right. And we're trying to do the same with music and make sure that the art is first and foremost, but also how we present it is important. So I've worked really hard on that, and I compensate everything I write a lot of music for TV and film, and so that can kind of help fund. And now, but the band is actually self-sufficient at this point. Everything's kind of on it's snowballing, not spiraling. Yeah, I was gonna say spiraling. I don't think that's the right word. Yeah, it's snowballing. So everything seems to be going well right now.
Right. So back to Light Myself on Fire with this record. How different would you say the writing has kind of evolved, especially because you guys have been in a band for, not necessarily this band, but you guys have done music together for quite some time. And then just like you mentioned, you guys are also working on TV and film kind of stuff. So where do you feel, or how do you feel like the writing has kind of evolved for Light Myself on Fire?
Since the previous album?
Since the previous album, or just, even Pacific Air, since that era?
I think it's just we were kind of not guessing, but we started really young, and I had recently just taken, so we started making music as teenagers without any real instruction, and it was just learning along the way. So I think now it's just been so many years and having supplemented training and actually learning how to like own our craft. And so now this record, we've just gotten to the point where we can actually, when we envision something, instead of trying, like working hard to try and make it, we already have the skills to make it. So that's also why it was a lot quicker this time.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't tried to change who we are or what we like. We still like the 80s. We like hooks. We like songwriting above production. But I think that we've just kind of gotten better at all of it. And I'm not trying to say that like, oh, I think we're better musicians or anything. But I do think that we've learned a lot, and we've taken into consideration parts where we feel like we could have done better. And I feel like we are doing better. And so I think it's just a process of growing and learning and getting those 10,000 hours in.
And this time with the record being a little darker than the previous record, and as you guys had mentioned, you guys were coming off of relationships. Like, how, what was it like getting vulnerable in the studio, especially, knowing that this is something that the audience is going to hear, your fans are going to hear?
Well, the studio's the house, so we don't really have to worry. Like, we built a studio in our own house, so we can just go to sleep afterwards. So it wasn't actually a conscious decision for me. It just kind of is the way things happened. I've always been vulnerable, but maybe a little more cryptic. And this one, I didn't, like I said, it's hard to describe not trying, but I just didn't try to do anything. Right. It just happened.
The emotions were just flowing as you were going.
Yeah. And so it feels great. It's a little awkward sometimes when I'm singing and the person I'm singing about is there, but it's fun.
Right. Now, what about the production side? Like, what did you guys do different this time around? Because you guys produced it yourself as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, we produced the last record ourselves too. So we've been producing our own stuff since Pacific Air, and we really didn't, like I said, we didn't do too much different. I did mix the whole record myself, which I've never done before, and that was a huge learning process and something that I didn't expect to do. I expected to ship it off to a mixer and let them do their thing, but we did for a couple tunes, and we didn't think they sounded that much different. So I just upgraded all my gear, did a lot of YouTube training, and like talking to other people I know about what I should be doing, what I should avoid. And I think that was the biggest difference, is like it was in our control from like start to finish.
Right. Well, I feel like because you ended up spending more money on something better, I mean, I feel like just the value of everything else for the next 5 records is going to be just all in-house. You don't need to worry about anyone else.
And we own it all, so we can keep doing this. We don't have to, every time we make a record, we don't have to be putting out $100,000 to have other people help with it. We can just kind of use the investment that we made already and kind of keep working.
Right. Now, you did mention this record was basically done overnight. So how crucial was working, doing those working hours at night for this record? Would it have been a different record if you had done it during the day?
Yeah.
Definitely. And living together helped. So, yeah, we would just go to the bar down the street and then we got back and would have an idea, and it would
Probably
kind of just, yeah, something that infiltrated while we were there. And then, I don't know, just like not be tired and get kicking at night. And then we'd sleep in super late. So it just kind of became our schedule for a couple months.
Right.
And it was fun. I think I listened to this record in the morning. We were driving back from Palm Springs the other day, and I listened to it, and I'm like, this sounds good, but there's something missing. And I listened to it again that night, and it just makes so much more sense to me. And I'm sure that everyone will probably view it differently, but at night, this just feels like a nighttime record to me, where if you listen to it after the sun goes down, it really pops.
Right. So if you struggled listening to the record in the morning, then definitely give it another shot. Like at night.
Yeah. Get drunk and give it a shot.
Now, from this record, the 9 tracks that are on this record, which one do you guys feel was either the most difficult to get out, to complete, or maybe the one that almost didn't make the record, but for some reason it just had a new life, like it got rearranged, it got remade? Like, is there a specific song like that on this album?
Not really, which is weird. The last record was all those songs. It was all things that came back. Wow. But this one it was done so quickly. We did kick a lot off. We had I think a 19-song record, and then we cut it down because we wanted it to be streamlined. Like, we wanted it to feel a certain way. And I think none of the songs, once we decided to cut them, nothing came back. Everything we never listened to it again. We're just like, nope, maybe we'll B-side it later and figure it out. But for now, we just want to focus on what we've done well.
Right. There's one song that sticks out to me because it's a little different from the rest, Monster. I really love the screaming on it.
Yeah.
Is that the first time that you've done something like that, and what kind of inspired that? Because I really enjoyed that.
Well, that song was like straight off of like listening to Wire too much on a binge. But then I'm like, I went to high school in the mid 2000s. Like, I only listened to emo music. Like, that was all I listened to, and like the Used were my favorite guilty pleasure. And I never thought I could do the Burt thing. And
I wasn't gonna say you sounded like Burt, but Burt was the first thing that popped in my head. So that's perfect.
Yeah, I didn't actually. That whole last chorus is one take. I didn't think about it. I was alone, and because that was one he didn't work on actually, and so I was just alone at night, and I just kind of got carried away, and I liked it and kept it, and I never touched it again. Just one. It was the first take through. Didn't expect it to go that way, and it did. So
was that the first time that you actually did some kind of screaming on some kind of music, and how did you feel afterwards? Because that's a different style of singing.
It's tough to rehearse a lot for me because I tend to sing a lot softer. So when you're breaking up your vocal cords like that, it's a lot more difficult to sustain it when you're not practiced for it. So it's fun though. I really like it. We're playing that song tonight, so
nice.
It'll be cool.
Nice. What about for you, Taylor? Like, is there something that you tried different on this record that maybe was a new challenge for you?
Let's see. Starting songs with actual songwriting ideas in mind rather than like my personal stuff. I just kind of fuck around with sounds.
Okay.
And so
more melodies before the lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. So I just like have fun with my keyboard for hours. So this time I think I tried to lock in a more contained structure. I just tried to like discipline myself a little more for this one. Yeah.
What was it that made you want to be more disciplined this time around?
This whole idea of cohesion, I think, for the entire record. Because I have a huge problem with noodling just even we try to just sit down to do anything and I'll just, start writing something else. So no, I just had to I tried to focus a lot harder than I did on the previous record.
Well, like I said, I've been enjoying this record, and I hope I feel the same way as you, where it's like I don't get tired of it. It's a really great record.
Thank you.
I haven't actually heard it at night yet, though. I've been hearing it during my drives during the day, so I'm gonna have to try that. I'll have to let you know how that goes. But today, actually, Rooney just announced a tour, and they just announced you guys on there. So I mean, it's such a great time to go on tour now that the record's out. I mean, you guys were on tour not that long ago.
3 weeks, about a month ago.
Yeah. So what can we expect on this new tour now that the album's out?
Well, we're gonna play a lot of the record. We're not gonna fully solely focus on it, but we're going to experiment with a lot more rock on this one because our set's pretty electronic. It's like pretty half and half, but Rooney is a lot more rock.
Right.
So we're going to kind of strip back some of the electronics a little bit and kind of be a little organic for this one and see how that goes. And who knows? We might hate it and we might just stick with the same kind of set. But
Kind of want to try a cover too.
yeah, we might cover a song for the first time.
Oh,
So
Done that.
dang.
I think we're gonna do In Excess. So that'll be fun.
Dang. Okay.
But yeah, we're excited because we actually share the same backing band with Rooney.
Oh, do you? Okay.
And so it was kind of a no-brainer when Robert said he was going on tour. It just kind of made sense. We're really excited about it. We haven't.
Gonna be a great tour because I mean the last time they were out here was just for select shows, and I remember that the fans just went crazy. So now that it's a full U.S. tour, this is gonna be insane.
I totally forgot about. I don't want to say forgot about the music, but I forgot how much I enjoyed the music until we accepted the tour, and I just popped on "When Did My Heart Go Missing," and I was like, oh. High school. I'm here and I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I'm in Huntington Beach.
Yeah, there you go.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely look forward to that. That tour kicks off in August. New album is out now, Light Myself on Fire. For those that haven't heard the record yet, or you guys in general yet, what makes you guys so different from many new artists today? What is Mating Ritual all about?
I have no idea how we're different from other artists because every time I turn on the Discover indie playlist or whatever, there's so many genres, it's hard to. I don't know. All I can say is that what we try to do is have a modern indie pop / modern take on indie pop / 80s post-punk.
I will say
I guess. So I don't know how we're different other than what we try to do.
I don't think I think of the bands that like what we like, we probably all could run in the same circles. But I'd say the biggest thing for me is I don't listen to any current music, and that's not on purpose. I'm not like shunning it. It's just like I haven't latched onto any of it, so we definitely don't know. We're not trying to avoid current trends. We don't know what current trends are, and so it might keep us a little bit behind the ball, but we like it. Yeah, we like.
I mean, it's working for you guys, so that, I mean, that's all that matters at the end. In the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think we like where we are. I don't think a ton of people sound like us right now in the grand scheme of things, which I think is kind of exciting for us because I didn't know if that would ever. That's always been kind of a goal of mine.
Right.
And so, but if you try to sound different, you're never going to sound different. You just have to do it.